I'm here with Brother Jared Gastrock, and Brother Gastrock is a missionary going to the island of Puerto Rico. And I'm very excited about this because I am Puerto Rican and I served as a missionary in Puerto Rico. And our church supports Brother Gastrock, and I highly recommend him for monthly financial support as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing what God is going to do with this dear brother and his family in the island where we served, up in the mountains of Puerto Rico. Amen. But I tell you what, Brother Jared, before we get into your vision and your calling for the island of Puerto Rico, I tell you what also fascinates me about you is you are a Marine.
Yes.
And the reason why that's fascinating to me is because I now pastor a church full of Marines. My church is just 10 minutes down the road from Paris Island. So are you a Paris Island Marine or Hollywood Marine?
No, I'm neither. I was on the dark side, so
Okay.
I was a commissioned officer, so I went through Quantico. So.
Oh, you went to Quantico.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And you have a fascinating Marine Corps career. Could you share a little bit about your time?
Sure. So we're blessed to be able to be retired from the Marine Corps. In fact, that's a really neat part of our testimony. God moved and allowed us to retire early at just over 15 years from the Marine Corps. So it was really a neat way that God opened up the door for us to be able to move from full-time military service directly into full-time ministry service. But I commissioned in 2008 after completing 4 years of my undergrad at the Virginia Military Institute and completed their NROTC program. So I commissioned in 2008. I hit the fleet in 2009 at Camp Lejeune with 2 MEF and deployed twice while there. First time with 5th Battalion, 10th Marines MEF Alpha to Afghanistan, and then came back and geared up for the next deployment. And then I deployed again with 2 MEF proper from 2011 to 2012. Got back from that, and then we moved out to California. I completed my graduate school at the Naval Postgraduate School as a defense systems analyst. Moved back to Quantico, Virginia. Did a payback tour there as an operations analyst for Headquarters Marine Corps. Then when we finished that up, we went right back down to 2MEF, to Camp Lejeune, where I was a company commander, Battalion OPSO, 2nd Law Enforcement Battalion. And then finally, the Lord, instead of sending me back to Afghanistan, which I was slated to do, I got surprise orders 2 days before chopping over to a deploying unit out of nowhere, and I got selected to go up into Maryland for my final tour, as it would turn out to be, around the Hagerstown area. And that's when we went to Harvest Baptist Church, and the Lord really worked through that, and then was calling us into missions and the ministry. So that's where we were able to retire out, and that's where we're sent out of, at Harvest Baptist Church in Hagerstown, Maryland. So,
Amen.
yes, sir.
Yeah, and so it does not surprise me that God would call someone like yourself to the mission field. You're a real warrior, and that's what it's going to take to do God's work as far as spiritual warfare is concerned on the mission field. And so I think a lot of the things that a lot of your training and the experience that you have is definitely going to translate. So now the Lord is sending you to the island of Puerto Rico. And tell us a little bit about your vision for what you believe God is calling you to do over there.
Yes, sir. So when I knew the Lord was calling us to Puerto Rico, I had a burden for the folks of Puerto Rico. And I would have told you a few years ago that I didn't believe the Lord was calling us to pastor or to serve in that capacity. But as I think has been the testimony in my life is that God has just given me those small steps to take one at a time. So when we surrendered to the ministry and to missions, the Lord had put on our heart just serving with existing ministries in Puerto Rico and reinforcing the work there, as well as starting a ministry of a camping ministry with a focus on missions, partnering with churches from the U.S. so that they could take a mission trip and see the island, which you of course know, but Puerto Rico is a very special place. And a lot of folks don't realize you don't need a passport to go to Puerto Rico. It's the same as flying to Florida. Yeah. It's a U.S. territory. So it's easy to get there, but you're really getting that international missions trip experience. So I saw how unique that was. And I knew the Lord could use that in a great way. And then also as we grew in the ministry, my wife and I were always burdened for those ministering, for those serving the ministry, seeing just discouragement and the difficulties that can come with those serving the ministry. And the Lord allowed us to be very close with our pastors as we would change duty stations. We were always close with our pastors and their families. And so we thought, well, this would be a great opportunity to have a retreat as well for those serving the ministry, just to be able to help those in full-time service. And a lot of folks don't tackle that problem. It's not discussed a lot, and there's wisdom there. I get that. And there's the requirement for discernment. But my wife and I knew early on we wanted to be involved in helping those serving in full-time ministry. If they're discouraged, they're going through trials or just a difficulty, or just need to get away for some family time. If we would have facilities that we would be able to provide them a bit of a retreat, we want to do that. And I don't think the Lord has removed that burden from us, but as we transitioned into full-time ministry, we're blessed to have a sending church that is exactly that, a biblical sending church, and a pastor that has been growing us, training us.
Amen.
And over the past few years, I love those ministries, but I don't love any of them more than the work of the local New Testament church. And when it comes to Puerto Rico, I believe the great need there is for solid local New Testament churches that are preaching and teaching sound doctrine. And nothing is going to make a bigger difference on the island than that, in getting the gospel out, in seeing the saints edified and growing. They need that on the island. So the Lord's been working on our heart there. We're still praying about that. I don't know exactly what the will of the Lord is there. There's some opportunities that we're very carefully praying about.
Sure.
I've been able to go on a survey trip with my family and with my pastor. And if I can say one thing for certainty about what we want to do in Puerto Rico, it's this: we want to do what the Lord is going to call us to do in Puerto Rico. Amen. We just want to be surrendered to the Lord's will. And I certainly don't want to plan the Lord out of what we're doing. So it's great potential. It's exciting when you get to the island. There's so much that's needed. However, we're just very convicted that needs to be done through the local New Testament church. So we're praying about what the Lord would have for us.
Well, God's definitely going to direct you. How'd you hear about the Reina Valera Gomez Bible?
So I didn't know this issue existed in complete transparency, probably till about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I found out about it because my pastor, and he was educated on the issue. And so he started to give me that information and help me to get spun up on that as well. And full disclosure, I still don't understand why it's an issue. To me, it shouldn't be an issue. Mm-hmm. It's if we have a conviction on the text, it's pretty straightforward. We need to be consistent. And that's just something that I was certainly trained with Pastor Rogers, and something I seek to be is an ethical man of God, but an ethical missionary.
Yes.
And I see a lot of things as not only a missionary on deputation. I'm very blessed to be able to serve as a deacon as well as the assistant to Pastor Rogers at our sending church. So I say jokingly, I play both sides of the fence sometimes. Yeah. But if there's one thing that I've seen from doing that, it's I want to be ethical. I want to be transparent and straightforward in what I'm doing and how I'm conducting myself as a missionary. And the text issue just goes directly into that. Sure. I want to be upright, and I want to tell folks exactly where we're at. And I do have a conviction on the text, and that conviction should be the exact same in English as it is in Spanish. And I seek to have that same conviction. And that's why I so much appreciate the work of the Reina Valera Gomez.
Amen. Amen. How you like the food on the island?
I love it.
What's your favorite so far?
Probably mofongo.
Oh, yeah. Mofongo de camarón with shrimp and the gravy and all that.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's pretty good. That and tostones.
And they put little bacon bits in it and all this. Yeah. You like all that?
It's all good. Yeah, I like all sorts of food. So I really do like the Puerto Rican food as well.
Well, when God gets you over there, we're definitely going to have to come visit. Probably not so much for spiritual things, but we'll do that too. But man, we're looking forward to God, what He's going to be doing in your life and your family and through your ministry. I just really believe God's going to bless your ministry in the island of Puerto Rico. Thank you for answering the call, brother.
Amen. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
God bless you, brother.
God bless you. Thank you, sir.
Here's a good missionary to support. Brother Jared Gastrock, missionary to Puerto Rico. God bless you.